My dear viewers, beginning today is the official Alliteration Gaming Patreon and channel members. Throughout my Patreon, we've got quite a few tiers you can check out in order to gain special perks and even commission videos that you'd like to see me upload onto the channel. Every tier includes a shout out on my supporter card at the beginning of all of my videos, along with the benefits of the tier itself. Following that, you can now also join the Alliteration Nation by becoming a channel member on the YouTube side of things. Pledging your subscription here as a member of the channel is going to grant you the same shout out on my supporter card as all the Patreon tiers do, as well as access to the members only channel on my Discord. You'll gain a member badge that will level up as you stay subscribed and access to my exclusive emotes when I stream on YouTube. If you're interested in checking out the Patreon, I'm going to have the link in the description and in the pinned comment down below, as well as the link to my Discord should you want to join that as well. And if you want to become a channel member, the big beautiful join button is front and center on my homepage right here. And if you do decide to support the channel in any way whatsoever, know that I am unimaginably grateful, and I can't wait to provide you with even more top-notch content at my trademark top speed. Additionally, it's time for the return of the referral code. If you're new here and you're just getting into the game, you've got to make an account on the Universe's gaming network. When you're signing up, you can use my exclusive referral code Alliteration to let Jasco know that I brought you on board, which directly supports me and my work. Having an account on the UGN site is going to allow you to sign up for tournaments, participate in events, locate stores that support the game near you, and much, much more. Playing in events and or mailing in pack wrappers is actually going to accrue loyalty points onto your account, which you'll then be able to redeem for exclusive promo cards in the mail for absolutely free. An account on here is an integral part of playing this game, so make sure you sign up and you use my code Alliteration to help me continue doing what I love. I would really appreciate the support. You guys absolutely killed it on the last one with all of the signups, and I am really excited to run it back with you all. Now, let's get on to the video. Good evening, my dear viewers, and welcome to another Alliteration Gaming video. My name is Levi, and it's Wednesday, so it's time for the wealthiest of aspirations. In the event that you are a new member of the channel, this is our weekly Market Watch series where we go over the whole of TCG Player. I pick out a handful of cards that I think really need to be talked about in the market, whether they're too expensive right now, too cheap right now, or they're looking to have some serious action one way or the other anytime soon. We're just going to kind of go over them and why I think they're an important thing to keep an eye out for on the market. Market Watch series need no further explanation, so let's just get right into it, guys. The first card that I want to talk about is Stun Grenade, specifically the XR, but the URs are starting to go the way of the Dodo as well. But the XR, it is absolutely dodoed out. There is one left at $33, and then it doesn't exist. These have been one that we've been keeping an eye on for a very long time on the channel now. They were in the $10 range and then started making their way to the $15 range, and now they don't exist. We've commented on them several times. We talked about how nuts Stun Grenade is and how it's really just ripe for buyouts anytime soon and is way cheaper than it has any right being, and we're finally starting to see the results of that. So in the event that you want these and still don't have them, I'm very sorry. I don't know if there's going to be a good time to get them for quite a while now. You're going to have to keep a very vigilant eye and see if anyone wants to try and break this this new threshold that XR Stun Grenades may have entered. If you've been watching the channel for a while and you did pick these up when the kitty was good, kudos to you for being a faithful Wealthy Aspirations watcher. And if you want to show me a little bit of appreciation, I would love if you hit that like button and left some positive feedback down below. Now for the next card, I want to talk about XR Snack Time, but I actually kind of want to use this to talk about just a few of Set 3's XRs in general. They're kind of starting to enter lower quantities than we've seen in the past. Same with like a lot of the URs and the XR Stun Grenade stuff, right? Look at this. There, you know, in the past you could see, you know, 30 plus listings because there was just so much Set 3 on the market. But a lot of these nice little choice XRs from Set 3 are actually starting to dry up, including the big ones as well. If you look, you know, in the past you've been able to get Stun Grenades for, you know, less than $1, $2, stuff like that. And then even at $5-6, this is still a really good pickup in my opinion. But the point is, they're probably not going to be that for very long, and this is one of those ones that you have to keep an eye out for, right? These are one of those ones that when bought out, people might go, maybe restocking such a busted XR like this at like $5 isn't actually very intelligent, and we'll actually start to see those increases. So I personally, if there's still like cheap XRs that you're wanting from Set 3, I'd go over the whole set and just kind of take a look at everything, and maybe you're gonna find some things that you realize, this is probably a good pickup right now in the event that it gets too crazy. Now, let's move into promo territory. Release and destined for mainstream success. We talked about these literally last week, and I need to kind of course correct a bit because I may have led you guys a tad astray. I said that these crazy like $100 prices were so unreal because as the sealed events continue to roll out, the shops are going to get more and more of the extra credit packs to hand out during those, and we're going to see a lot more of these enter the market. Now, that's not actually true. We have a very small amount of those left in the wild right now, and once those are done being given out to players for these sealed events, they're not going to make any more. We are now shipping set 4 ones to stores as we speak, and so the days of more of these extra credit releases and destined for mainstream successes, the 2 short printed ones in the pack, the 2 rare ones if you will, those days are pretty much over. There's not going to be many more of these opened. Pretty much what's in the wild is in the wild, and it's a very small amount because people just were not desiring to buy unlimited set 3 very much. So these are, I mean, honestly, I still don't think that anything over like $70 is realistic at all for these, but if that's the price the market has decided and that's the price that you're okay paying, this is kind of just the world that you're living in now if you so desire these beautiful extra credit releases and destined for mainstream successes. These I think are going to hold as some of the most expensive alternate arts in the game for a very long time now. But at least they're alternate arts, right? Unlike our friend Chivalrous Competitor. Now, last week we saw this kit pretty much enter some crazy $25 buyout territory, and at this point a handful of them have restocked, and I really do think that $20 is just kind of the new price. I think $20 is an okay price for this card at this point. I think getting it for any cheaper is just asking a lot. It is one of the most important cards still in the format. Flipping is everywhere. Protecting your things from flipping is so important. Chaos and Earth, still some of the best symbols in the game, and ultimately there's just not going to be a lot more of these open. These are not going to enter the market very much anymore. Set 3 is not being opened, guys. The set just has very little secondary market value, and so I don't think you're going to see a ton of Chivalrouses entering the fray more. So if you can find them for $20, I think that's kind of just a price that you have to stomach paying for them now if you haven't picked them up yet. Continuing on this promo train, let's look at Uwabami, guys. Holy cow, Uwabami is $25. There are 2 of these things left for $25, and yeah, I mean, Uwabami definitely got a lot of really sick new things to play with in set 4. All of her different builds got a whole lot stronger, and she's, I think, going to be able to finally actually see some success as a character. Maybe not the most meta deck in the world, but she feels much more playable than she did before, and the prices are showing. She has been, you know, $10 for pretty much ever now, and now bought out all the way to the 15 territory, and now we're in $25, and it might be hard to get your hands on a foil Uwabami now. Of course, you can always redeem these as a provisional promo, but it's not foil, and so for all of you collectors out there who want to make sure that you're playing with a nice shiny character card, Uwabami is going to be an expensive one to get. And honestly, if this is a character that you ever really thought about playing, you probably have been hanging on to one of these anyway, but man, if you're not, it's going to be a rough market to find yourself a shiny Uwabami on. Might have to go and settle for that redemption one. And then in the same vein, I want to just look at Ectoplasm and Mount Lady because they're also promo characters, specifically promo characters that you want multiple copies of, that got a lot better from set 4. These guys have like an insane amount of listings on the whole of the secondary market, so I think it's a lot harder to have any chance of them being bought out anytime soon, but it is something to at least be aware of. If you think that these characters, if they ever got good, are ones that interest you, it's probably worth it to just own a playset of them. Next up on some unforeseen promos, Acid Fling is $15. What the heck is going on here? One is $15 and then they don't really exist. I mean, $26, you can argue that that exists. Although it actually says playset of 4, so maybe this is $26 for 4 Acid Flings. I'm not really sure. This is a boomer moment. Either way though, there's not a lot of these left, and I'm really not sure why. This card is not very good, and I don't think it sees play in any crazy decks going into set 4. Maybe it's connected to Uwabami because Chaos Uwabami could play this. It's a 3 damage move, right? Maybe there's some kind of connection there. Either way, I'm not sure why this one is so bought up, but if you know something I don't, you might know why. Otherwise, I can't see a reason to even consider buying this at these prices. Now, some promos I could consider buying at some inflated prices. Let's look at Villainous Waylay and Flamethrower, and we're actually seeing kind of like both of these be on a bit of a rise, right? This one's all the way to 12, a couple at 12, and then we have, well, 7. 7's not a couple. 8 of them at 12, then a bunch at 18, and then they start start getting really crazy, and they've been a lot cheaper in the past, right? $3, $4, $5, some for $10 here and there, right? And then the same thing for Villainous Waylay. Ever since the provisional promos for the store championships all got sent out to the stores, and a bunch of these had entered the market, we saw some realistic things happening with these prices, finding their way all the way down to like the $5 territory, as you can see in both of these. But at the end of the day, though, these are both really good cards, and honestly, most of that provisional pack is really good cards. So we're seeing them find their way up and up and up. Now, some of these just say near mint, some of these say near mint foil. So I have to assume that like the ones that don't are the non-foil ones, which in that case, I don't know why you would pay for those whatsoever, because you could just go get them on redemption for a really small amount of points. Go gem a few locals and you can get these in an instant. So I really would not be buying the non-foils at these prices. This is just a crazy price to be buying something that you could go redeem for a small amount of points. However, if you do want those foils, they are going to start costing you a pretty penny. So these are decisions that you're going to have to make if you want the shiny version of these cards. But in the event that you don't worry about these prices, because redemption has got your back. Now let's move into the almighty set 1, guys. Nitro is $30 again. We are in a world where Nitro has become $30 again, and it's looking to get even more and more expensive. This is one that we've looked at several times across the history of wealthy aspirations, man, because it's just one that goes between $20, 25, then it looks like it wants 30. It never really goes in. It's finally going in now to 1 in 30, and I think it might be here to stay, guys. Death Symbol, especially Death Furies, big glow up in set 4. Certain decks that use this card really well, like some of the cute air decks or some of the fire decks, got a lot of gas from set 4 as well. Overall, it's just a really good time to be Nitro Explosion. This card's going to find its way into a lot more decks as we start building all of these new set 4 decks, and I think there's plenty of reason for it to be $30 now, and I could honestly see it going a lot higher as these last few get bought up. So if you don't have your set of Nitros yet and you want to play some Nitro decks in the League of Villains era, I would snap them up ASAP, because I don't know if it's going to get any prettier. Again, this card fights to want $30 all the time. Now it has a really good reason to fight for it. Next up, we got Detroit Smash. Detroit Smash has been a really volatile one from day one. It is one of the short printed ultra rares in set 1, so it's seen some crazy prices back and forth. If you kind of look at the price history, man, you know, you could get it for like $5, then suddenly somewhere $10, then suddenly somewhere $4 and $8, then $13. This thing has bounced all the way all over the place a ton, and it looks like it might have actually been bought out maybe a week or two ago. We just didn't quite catch it for a little bit because there were some sold for $25 and $26. Then we had a couple more cheap ones, and now it looks like it's solidly in the $15 range, which is a pretty good place for this card to be. As far as going into set 4, All Might 1 did get a lot of really cool new tools in set 4. I think Valiant Assault does things to this card that are just absolutely heinous. There are a lot of really cool things for Detroit Smash decks to be doing, and just so many more All Mights in the game. We have the new All Might coming into the game with the provisional promos. Honestly, there's just a ton of stuff for All Might to be doing with this card, especially in set 4, and so I'm not like super surprised to see it be this expensive. But in the event that you don't have them and you want to be playing a Detroit Smash deck, I think you could probably give this one some time, and I think it'll settle down a little bit lower. This is probably just more excitement than anything. Moving into set 1's XRs, Hardened Jab is worth looking at right now, because we got basically 2 for $20 right here before they go into like the crazy $40 range. They are unlimited, but they are also near mint. As you can kind of see, $20 is a pretty good price for these. They've sold for very similar numbers in the past. If you got a couple bucks burning a hole in your wallet and you've been really eyeing some reasonably priced Hardened Jabs, good price for them. Same with It Can't Be Fixed. We talked about these either last week or the week before, very recently, that there were a handful of them for like $12-15. There's still I'm not sure if these are the same ones, to be honest, but there's still a few of them on the market for that price. And then the one for 40, which is again not real, but basically not real. I mean, we've seen some sell pretty recently in the last week or so for like $9, $14, $12. I think these are really good prices for these. Even if this becomes a new norm, I would not regret picking up any staple zero difficulty foundation XR, especially from all the way back in set 1. I think these are just good prices for all of those keywords there. The last XR I have to talk about is actually Electric Jolt, guys. Electric Jolt has finally found its way up. People have been so hot on the RLE version, which has really drove the price of the XR down for quite a while now. As you can see, $8, $9 became the norm. Some sold for $4 and $5. It became very cheap for for a long time, but it looks like it's finally starting to climb its way back up and kind of settle around a $15 price point. So if I've been saying this also a lot in the past weeks, if the RLE Jolts drying up was just too expensive for you, the XR is a great alternative. It's still a beautiful looking card. Lastly, let's look at Plus Ultra, man. Now, quite a while back, we looked at Plus Ultra because the Victory and the normal one both just like tanked like crazy into like the $2 to $3 range out of totally freaking nowhere. It was very bizarre, and they've been holding that range for quite strong still. But it looks like the Victory is finally starting to make its way back up there. People are finally realizing that, hey, $4 for Victory Plus Ultra is like a crazy deal, and they've been snap buying them up, and it's finally made its all the way back up to what in my opinion is a much more appropriate price for what it is. That, my dear friends, is it for this wealthy aspiration. Some pretty interesting things going on. I think the Uwabami buyout is like absolutely hilarious, but overall a lot of really choice XRs to pick up right now, a lot of choice ones fluctuating as well, and of course so many promos to really keep some vigilant eyes on as set 4 comes in and affects the format, affects the meta, affects what cards we play in our decks, affects what decks we can play. We're gonna see a lot of price changes as people start to realize what set 4 cards are and aren't super busted. I know the pre-releases are out for set 4, but there's barely any prices on them for TCG Player right now. The only real source is Rochester's pre-release prices, and so I didn't really want to go into too crazy of those simply because it's still such a volatile time and the numbers are really just all super duper crazy inflated because yeah, that's what it should be when you can buy cards before the set's even out yet, right? As always though, thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed and or even learned anything from this video, I would really appreciate some positive feedback down below. Hit the like button, leave me a nice comment to read while I'm sipping my morning coffee, and of course subscribe if you want to see this series every week alongside all of my other quality MHA CCG content. We put out daily uploads on this channel, 7 uploads a week. The train never stops over here, and if you want to support that train even more, you can also hit the join button down there and become a channel member to get access to a ton of exclusive perks. And if you want to have some impact on the type of videos I make, you want to commission some content directly from me, you can check out my Patreon, which is going to allow you to pick what types of videos I make and forever submit yourself as a part of the channel. So if all of that sounds cool, I'm going to have the links to everything in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Above all else though, I just appreciate you making it to the end of this video right here. That's all the time I've got for today, but I hope I see you in tomorrow's upload.